And we're going to set up the mic in a second.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, I guess the old cliche still applies, really. You know, what you say is as important as how you say it. What you say. I think it has become absolutely evident for the past 10 to 20 years that the nature of competition has changed. It used to be possible that you could choose between competing products and services on the basis of the price, quality, or the service. But today, in most activities, that is no longer possible. You know, being as good as your competition is now sufficient enough to kind of enable you to stay in the race. Emotional factors such as being liked, being admired and respected more than your competition helps you win. Today we live in probably the most competitive and fast-paced business environment that ever existed. But I don't think that the fundamental idea behind a visual identity program has changed. I think it still remains very largely the same, which is about projecting who you are, what you do, and you know, how you do it. Well, when I was first asked to pitch for the visual identity program of Ilior, I thought, well, that's fantastic. Ilior is a new shared housing concept that will provide Athens with flexible co-living spaces. You know, the brief was to position the brand and create its visual personality and voice through a personable brand identity program. And the brief said that the audience is the new generation of young professionals, creatives as well as students in Athens, also known as Gen Z, which is Generation Z, which is the generation after mine, which I think, I can't remember what we are called. You know, Generation Z includes everyone born between 1997 to present that don't remember a time before the internet. Co-living is an emerging trend in housing. The co-living concept reflects the shifting value system of today's renters, values that embrace the quality of relationships and experiences over the quantity of square footage. We did a lot of research on Ilior's competition in Europe as well as America, and what the taglines, what the colors, and how they express the brand identities. I pitched and I won the project, but you know, I remember kind of reading through Daniel's brief, and he said, this Ilior is going to be a fruitful soil for community interaction and engagement. I remember almost instantly I came up with the line, "The land of the dreamers." And I guess from that we came up with the idea of not having a logo, but having a flag. We developed an overarching, modular and flexible identity that draws upon the idea of a special place. Central to the identity is a responsive, bespoke brand mark that references the concept of a flag of an imaginary country where people can dream freely, work collaboratively, debate fruitfully, and develop. Then we've got the word mark, which is when the flag expands, and then again the brand mark when the brand contracts. The color scheme draws upon the visual language of national flags by employing Gen Z color trends. The kind of challenge. Greece, similarly to other European markets, like South European markets, is not very familiar with the idea of shared housing. I don't know if you've seen the show Mad Men. It was Don Draper, obviously, who said, well, if you don't like the conversation, change your subject. So I was thinking, well, that's a strategy. We're building a religion, not a brand. Co-living is a way of life. As such, a strategy is to pitch the benefits of co-living. The brand identity will focus on capturing the notion of community, sharing dreams and aspirations, creating common memories, and position the brand through this lens. So the concept really is, it comes from our house is our castle. It was about creating a narrative, a hypothesis, a scenario of a fictional land, of a utopia, basically, that people will traverse, and everything, the logo, the brand mark, the marketing material, just props from that fictional story. I was fascinated by the architecture vision of Ilior 1. Matilda and Dimitris designed the contemporary environment, and they kind of introduced this concept of the spine, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. The collaboration was amazing. Daniel was a visionary. He was one of the inspired clients who he got really excited about the visual identity I proposed, and we did it. And that's quite rare, I think, for a client and an art director to kind of agree and say, yeah, that looks different, let's do it. The visual identity or brand identity of an organization is the visual manifestation of its personality. Our job as art directors is to come up with a fascinating way to kind of express that and conceive that. There's a business vision and the vision of the person who kind of had the idea to create this project, but that doesn't mean that that's a personality that can be marketed or that's marketable. So you're gonna have to, create a narrative and an idea based on which the visual identity will be created and projected to the audiences and to the markets that we're interested in, and that's what people will engage with and kind of interact with.
We don't care.